Hello, dear friends. I'm in the caravan and I brought myself some whiskey. And what else could it be? I wear the cowboy hat, I have the bolo tie on today, so of course it's whiskey from the States. I brought something from High West, 3 renditions. I will go through them quickly and maybe I'll do some reviews more specifically on each of them. But today is just a short presentation. First of all, we have the double rye. The double rye is with a lot of rye. So most of the whiskey in here is rye. Some say it's over 95%, which means it's quite rustic. The character of it is fruity, but also does have some complexity. It's not the most complex whiskey, but it's certainly quite easygoing. But the rye does make it rye-stick, so to speak, or rustic, so to speak. A little bit green, a little bit of baking spices, not too much. Beautiful, easygoing whiskey. You should try this one. It should be readily available at most stores where they have a good range of whiskies. So you should try this one. It's the double rye, and it's in a beautiful bottle as all the other High West whiskies. And I'm not sponsored. I'm telling you because I think they are. All right, let's move on. We have the Rendezvous rye, and the Rendezvous rye is a much older one. It's between 5 and 8 years, someone told me, and it should make the whiskey more complex. And I think there is not so much rye in the whiskey as in the double rye. So it might also have a bit other nuances other than just the aging, which of course will affect the whiskey. So let's try this one. I'll pour myself a bit. All right. Rendezvous rye. And as far as I know, the name comes from when, back in the old days, they were meeting up in Utah near the distillery, when the distillery wasn't there at that time, but they met like a big market and they sold their goods and services and blah, 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 and then they all brought some whiskey. And it ended up being more a party than a trade show or something like that. And that's why they called it a rendezvous, because that was the name of that thing back then. Let's try it. It's much more dense, much more baking spice. It's more complex. It's more sweet in the nose. It's more oaky. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly more weighty. Flavor-wise and taste-wise, goes hand in hand. It's more weighty on the palate. Very good. Some toffee, some coffee, some vanilla, some herbs, some baking spice. It's a very good one, but still contains the rustic element, or the rye-stick element, as I said before, of the rye content. It's a very good one. I would suggest this one as a more late-night sipper, where this is certainly something you could have more early in the day, or if you just want something easygoing when you're hiking or out in the garden or whatever you do. This one would be a perfect one. This one is a bit more late-night-ish, so to speak. All right, let's try the last one, so the video not goes on for too long a time, and I'm boring you. Then this is a campfire, and the funny story about the campfire is that the campfire contains 5% smoky Scottish whiskey. And this, of course, affects the flavor and the taste quite a lot. You would think 5%, how much does it make a difference? It does make a very large difference, actually. I had a whiskey vermouth, which is one of my favorite drinks. It's only 2 ingredients and it's beautiful. You just have to have a good vermouth, or vermouth, as we say in Danish. This one is the same alcohol percent, 46. I don't know exactly what that is in proof in the States. But the Campfire is a much more complex whiskey and it certainly demands, I would say, a bit more enthusiastic palate, so to speak. You have to really want this, but I think it's a very good rendition of it, and it certainly is a good. You can change this for a Scotch if you want something different sometimes. I would say this is a good one, and it's especially good in some of the cocktails where you usually use rye. It will add complexity with the smokiness. All right, let's try this one. Already smells. Oh yeah. You still have the rye-ish character of the other two, of the double rye and the rendezvous. But the smokiness adds a layer. You get more baked apple now. You get more brininess. You get some minerality from the smoke. It's quite a dry smoke, but it contains a sweetness from the rendezvous, so to speak. Let's try it. It's quite a mineral smoke. In the taste, it's more dry than the other ones, but it's also more complex. And you get some nutmeg, maybe some walnuts. Yeah, you certainly get more dark chocolate. So I would say this is the most complex one, but it's also the most challenging one. So you have to really be enthusiastic about that element. But anyway, that was the short video. High West, I think it's some beautiful bottles, and the liquid inside is very good as well. You should try it. It's the double rye, it's the rendezvous, and it's a campfire. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, cheers and bye-bye from Blues and Booze.